What is up, everybody? In the States, happy Thanksgiving week here in the States. I don't normally work this week, but hey, I'm here. It's what it is.
We're here.
It's what it is. What happens when you schedule shit out and nobody knows what's going on. It's fine. My name is Chris Weiser, here with our head of marketing coaching. Actually, that's like the worst title. I think you prefer head marketing coach, right?
It's fine. We don't do titles, remember? We don't do titles here.
So, internal debate, guys. Lindsey told me when we were at the live event, the last big live event, she's like, I hate it when you call me head marketing coach.
Yeah,
so there you go. Head marketing coach.
And so I told you why, though. Like, I used to work at a country club whenever I was in like high school. And my title there was head server. And it was like this made up title basically to like give me more responsibilities without paying me much more. So
sounds similar.
Wow, there's so many similarities. Yeah, all good. I basically keep Chris on the straight and narrow. That's what I do here.
I haven't even taken off my like joggers today.
Oh, not the joggers.
That's how casual Monday we're on today. I lifted this morning.
You had onboarding, right?
No, all day. What was that? Oh, my.
That's your onboarding call, yeah?
Yeah. I did our normal. I don't want my camera's all blurry, so hold on. There we go. I did my onboarding call today. Hopefully this catches up. Sorry, I screwed up the
your joggers threw it off.
My joggers threw my camera off. Hopefully it gets better. All right. Well, good afternoon, guys, here in the States. My name's Chris Weiser, here with Lindsey Badillo. Really, really excited I got to get this fixed. There we go. It's got to see my face. So, and Phil said I changed shirts too. He's right. Actually, it was funny, Phil. I just did that like 5 minutes ago. So there you go. That's really funny. So we got a really cool webinar for you guys here today. We got a lot of stuff going on. We have a bunch of different rooms that we're broadcasting in. So we're live in our webinar platform today, which is called Streamyard. If you guys are live with us on the webinar in the platform, you can see chat. You can also be eligible to win the prizes. And I'm going to do this for you guys really quick here. Let me just put a banner up on the screen. Hold on, let me edit this. If you are watching with us on the live stream, there's that. You can win the prizes. Well, so there's two things. If you're watching with us on StreamYard, inside the webinar platform, you're going to be able to win prizes because you're going to be able to chat with us real time and see all this other stuff. If you're watching on the internet stream, so we're streaming right now live in the webinar, but we're also on Facebook and 3 spots on LinkedIn and on YouTube live. Nobody out there can win, which means you got to come in and join on this link if you want to join and watch with us live. Here's what we're going to do today. We got about an hour and a half. You got me and Lindsey. We are going to be teaching and training how to generate 3 secrets to 10 new leads every single month in your MSP. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit on sales coaching and kind of why this all works. And then Lindsey's going to get into the guts of how you do this. And here at 7-Figure MSP, Lindsey is our marketing coach. She is an absolute superstar. What's really cool, Lindsey, I don't say this stuff in front of you very often because I don't want to embarrass you, but Lindsey is absolutely fantastic. She comes from outside of MSP land, which is, I think, a really, really valuable thing. And if you guys get close to me or close to our team at all, you'll realize that very few of the 7-Figure MSP team members come from the MSP world. Almost everybody comes from outside. So you got me, Cindy Phillips, who's our head. See, I'm going to call her the head sales coach.
Head sales coach.
He's the head sales coach. So we got me, Cindy Phillips, and Ryan O'Hara. We're the only 3 that come from the MSP space. And that's kind of by design because I want people coming in here that have new, fresh, different ideas. And Lindsey comes from digital marketing land. She also was a marketing trainer on her side, had her own coaching platform, also was a educator. So a little background on yourself, Lindsey. Can you give us a little bit of who you are?
Sure. Yeah. So before coming into the MSP channel, as I have learned that it's called now over the last year and a half.
The people that call it that, for the record, are the people in
the channel.
The vendors that call it that.
Which, by the way, this week we need to talk about IT Nation. So maybe we'll do like a live in the Facebook group or something.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we got to do that. I agree with you.
Yeah. So anyways, so we were just at IT Nation last week, and it was really cool. It was my first ever event with other people in the MSP space. So getting to meet like you guys as vendors and partners and such. That was really fun. But anyways, before coming into MSP world, I ran my own coaching and consulting company. So I worked with 6-7-figure business owners on helping them grow and scale their businesses, mostly with digital marketing strategy, really trust-based, relationship-based marketing, sales strategy, etc. And then before that, I was in education. So actually elementary education. Did not take me long though in that space to realize I love to teach, but just not first graders. So now I just teach a different type of first grader. And
she teaches me, which is like basically a kindergartner.
Which is like all of you, but I love it. I love what I do. Could not picture myself doing anything different. So
yeah, it's been really a true joy having you here. We're about a year and a half, a little over a year and a half into having Lindsey at 7-figure MSP, and it's been absolutely amazing to watch the results and watch the success stories. So I'm going to get into the rest of our training. We got me for about 20 minutes, and we got Lindsey for about 30, and then I'm going to come back and kind of tighten everything up. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a intro here, and then we'll get rolling. All right. So a couple things, got a couple promises for you guys. First of all, we're going to show you, most importantly, and this is what I'm going to talk about, why times have changed in the MSP industry. And I hear this a lot, and I still have guys that are out there. We have a really large Facebook group, so about just over 22,000 MSP owners in it at this point. So we have that's out there. And every single day, I hear MSPs doing the same stuff that they did 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. So we're going to show you why times have changed and why it's the best time ever for you to make money in this industry. Second, I'm going to talk a little bit, and we also have a sales webinar that Cindy and I do. It's about 2 weeks from now, the first Monday of December, that we come back and we talk a little bit deeper into the sales side. But we're going to show you that you can charge $300 plus per seat. I don't care what market you're in. I got guys in the States. I got guys in rural Canada. I got guys in Africa. I got guys in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, charging $300 plus per, and I'll say 300 currency of whatever your currency is, maybe not dollars, but so 300 pound, 300 rand, whatever. So $300 value ish in your currency in every market in the world, big markets, small markets. So this is entirely doable, even if you're a brand new MSP. So we're going to show you that. Okay. Next couple things coming up here. We're going to show you, and this is where Lindsey gets into her content. We're going to show you how to add at least 10 new qualified leads to your sales pipeline every single month. Again, really key factors here, without complicated sales landing pages or funnels, without expensive Facebook, LinkedIn, Google ads. We're going to teach you how to do that stuff. And we're going to show you real skills, real strategies that our very own clients, Lindsey teaches, me and Lindsey and Cindy and Ryan, we teach this stuff actively inside of our 7-figure MSP coaching program. And because you're going to give us an hour and a half or so of your time today, you're going to get a lot of this stuff free. So get ready to take notes, get ready to take action. Here's probably the biggest qualifier I have on this. We have a lot of people that we talk to every single month. We just had hundreds that we saw live at IT Nation that Lindsey just mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Lindsey, it was a week and a half ago at this point already. That was not last week, but the week before that. I know, yeah, time flies. But we are actively presenting this stuff live. And the big differentiator that I see, there's people that come into this that are like, okay, I'm going to take action, and they talk, and they don't do anything. And then there's guys that are kind of like the quiet in the back of the room. And there's guys that are talking that are doing this also. But the ones that really see the difference are the ones that actually go home and implement and execute. Boom, 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 really quick. So doesn't have to be perfect. The only thing, I say this all the time, the only thing better than perfect is done. So keep that in your mind. Work on this stuff, actively push on it. It's really important to do. Got a couple other quick things for you here today. If you stay until the end with us, we're going to be giving away multiple prizes. We got one winner getting a $100 Amazon gift card, and then a second winner got to be live on the webinar side with us. Again, that's really key. marketing.7figuremsp.com/leads. So if you're watching on the live streams, you can't win. It's important. That's you trading your information for my money. That's what that is, just so you guys know that. That's what that is. See how I did that? It works pretty well. One winner is going to get a $75 gift card. So we got one person getting $100, one person getting $75. And if you don't like Amazon, I'll send you PayPal. Like, I don't care. It's not it's more a matter of like, it's a gift card. Okay. It's a good time for Black Friday. We got coming up here, Cyber Monday. But then also everyone on this webcast can win a $50 gift card of their own, but you have to stay until the end because we're going to do a couple things that we're going to do along the way, and then a live drawing about 3/4 of the way through. So, okay. Last couple things I have, please pay attention. That means no tickets, no client calls, no distractions. If you're serious about changing your life, please give us your focus time. This is worth it. I'm going to give you some really good stuff, but Lindsey's going to give you some absolute insanely gold nuggets. We have I think we have 5 deliverables for you today. So get your phones kind of ready with your QR code snappers or maybe a screenshot puller, whatever you got. You'll also get the ability to get the recording tomorrow. So all that stuff's coming in the next 24 hours here, but pay attention to that. If you guys don't know me, my name is Chris Weiser. I was an MSP owner. Note I just said we only have 3 MSP people in this company. I'm one of them. I was an MSP owner for about 10 plus years in the Midwest in the United States in the Wisconsin, Milwaukee market. So if you know where Milwaukee, Wisconsin is, that's where my MSP was. I lived in Wauwatosa last. My MSP was actually in Waukesha. It's a very American Indian named cities up there. That's what that all is. I built my MSP from $0 shop. I was a single person tech when I started. And I had, I think 29 when I sold the company back in 2015. Never had a certification, never went to college, never did any of these things. So how did I magically make all this work? We're going to show you some of the stuff today, but I'm going to tell you my big secret, my superpower is I execute. I execute like crazy and I go fast. Lindsey, you've been pretty exposed to that the last couple of years here. I go real quick and I go real hard, real fast. It's really important to do that. But I sold my firm back in 2015, and now we've built a really, really cool program called 7-Figure MSP, and that's called 7-Figure MSP. And oh, by the way, we have live events every quarter. Here's our next one coming up here. I forgot about this. Here's our next one coming up every quarter. You guys can sign up for this. If you use the promo code RevGen, I think you get about like 90% off by using that promo code. But we're Phoenix, Arizona, Wild Horse Pass Resort. We have a full training session with Mike Michalowicz, who wrote the book Profit First and Pumpkin Plan. He's going to do Profit First for MSPs with us live on stage. So really, really excited for that. And if you guys already know me, you know that kind of a little bit, you heard me mention that $300 per seat thing, but I'm pretty well known for this polarizing concept of charge 3, 4, 5x what you're currently charging. Our average that comes into our discussion calls at 7-Figure MSP, our consulting calls that my team and I do, is $68 per seat. That's what the average comes in at. I've seen there was a guy, Lindsey at IT Nation, that was charging $17. I don't know if you heard him yell that out during our session, but he was charging $17 a seat. I had another guy that was charging $185 a seat or so at IT Nation. So it really kind of varies. But one of the things that I actively talk about is that you can sell in any market at $300 per seat across the board. And I don't care what market you're in. I don't care what charging you're charging right now. But how many of you guys, especially you guys that are live with us on the chat today, how many of you guys think that's absolutely nuts? I want you to throw some stuff in the chat here. Oh, somebody even threw me a Go Bucks in there. That's a Milwaukee Bucks, by the way. So how many of you guys think that's crazy? Like there's no way you can charge that kind of money in your market. I want to see some stuff in the chat here. We got to give it a second here while people type. You guys weren't ready, but really cool. We got some other people here. Hello from Toronto. Oh boy, somebody just said, who let David McGuire in? I'm a big fan of that. All right, I'm going to keep going here as we go. I hope our chat is working. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
Can't make it that low.
I like that. I like this. I'm looking at $150 a seat. Michael, we can get that. We can double that. Here's another one from Ami DePiero. I'm doubtful considering people balk at lower prices. And David here said it depends on your client base, to be honest. Kyle said $300 per seat at least. I like this, guys. I appreciate it. So bottom line is, Christopher Johnson here said yes and no. So bottom line is we have a lot of opportunity, and I'm going to show you a lot of the guts of how I get there and how I recommend doing that. So first of all, your baseline is you have to understand this. Things have changed in the MSP market. And what's really key about this is that businesses are not prepared for thinking about cybersecurity. They're not prepared to talk about their money. They do not equate. In fact, in their heads, in most MSP business owner, not the MSP guys, but the actual client side, They don't see the difference. They don't understand that times have changed. They don't understand that cybersecurity is a big deal. They hear about people getting hacked, but they don't relate this back to their businesses. And for the most part, they still treat IT support like a bargain basement service. And I want you guys to get your keyboards ready, gigs. I'm going to ask you a couple chat things here as we go here. But how many of you that are watching with us today, and we kind of saw this in the chat from just a minute ago, how many of you still get MSP prospects telling you that you're too expensive? I want to hear this from people here. In fact, somebody just said here, same. They just want lower prices. Most don't think $300 is possible. Wrong clients. Alex said here, Alan said depends on what's being offered. But here's Christopher saying, yes, I get people telling me it's too expensive. Kinsey saying, all the time, raising my hand every day. Yes. Michael saying, yes. So here's the thing, guys. This is absolutely true. So how do we fight this mindset of stuff is too cheap? So how do we get past this? And I'm going to give you some things that I want you to actually work on that are totally different. And I want you to add this to your arsenal of things that you talk about as you really work with your prospects. First of all, you need to be sitting down. I'm going to give you one thing that I don't have listed here. Stop emailing people back. Pick up the damn phone. That's a really important thing. Cindy Phillips talks about this a lot in our program. Email is where deals go to die. Now, I'm not saying ignore their emails, but as you email them back, ask for a meeting, ask to meet in person, ask to meet on Zoom, ask to meet on Teams, ask to meet on whatever your platform is. Get in front of them and talk to them. But also ask the right questions. I'm going to give you some questions here I want you guys to ask. And these are a couple things that I want you to go through and be really important, really conscious of. First of all, Mr. Client, what is your revenue? These are things that you want to be talking about. Think about you as an MSP. When's the last time that you actually talked to a prospect or an existing client about how much money they make? This is not something that MSPs actively talk about. MSPs are scared to do this. Oh, I don't want to talk about money. This is something that we've never talked about before. But please, I want you to understand, what is an industry that talks about money almost immediately? First day on the job, salesperson at an insurance provider is actively talking about money. Why? They're managing risk. They're managing the financial side. Mr. Client, how much money do you have in your bank accounts? These are things that you want to be asking. Mr. Client, when was your last risk assessment? When was your last cybersecurity risk assessment? Mr. Client, what are you going to do when you actually have a hack? Oh, you're going to call me? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you, Mr. Client, Mr. Prospect. That's great that you're going to call me, but we're not managing your money. We're not protecting your money. We're not protecting any of those things. They don't realize that the link between themselves and their money is actually their keyboard a lot of the times. Our job is to convey how much risk is there related to their financial situation. So I want you to think about this, and I want you to think about where you can drive the clients. Your whole messaging, which is we're going to stray right into the Lindsey message from today, which is talking about cybersecurity, talking about risk, talking about what are you going to do when you have a breach. These are important things. Mr. Client, what are you going to do when you have a breach? Who are you going to call for help? And I want you as an MSP owner to really think about your sales messaging, and I want you to pivot to the truth. And I want to ask you guys this. I want you to get your keyboards ready. Who here can prevent all client hacks, all prospect hacks? Is there anyone here that can do that? Can you guys prevent all client hacks? I want you to see some stuff in the chat here. Ooh, I just see this from, in fact, here's from David. Nobody can prevent all client hacks. No one, no one, no one, no one. So we all understand it. Every single, and Lindsey, you saw me do this, this little thing live at IT Nation where I said, hey, everybody in the room, put your hands up. This was a visual that I did. And I said, okay, who could prevent all hacks? All the hands up. Now, I'm not saying this, guys, to make you look bad. I'm saying this because we as IT professionals, IT industry owners, managed service provider owners, we all know hacks are unpreventable. But what does the prospect, your existing client, think? Who are they going to call for help? I'm going to back up my slides here just a second, because think about this. Oh, my slides aren't working. There we go. what are they going to do? Who are they going to call for help? Who's their first call to? If they have a breach tomorrow, if half the money in their bank account is gone tomorrow, they're probably going to call the insurance company, but the insurance company or maybe even the bank is going to be like, talk to your IT guy, because they all know, but your client does not understand that. This is the first things we have to do. We have to pivot to the truth and let them know, I can't stop all hacks, Mr. Client, but we can be ready. These are the things that you have to be very, very upfront about. This is the first place to removing negligence out of your world. And one of the things that I want you to do out of the box is you should be selling and absolutely leading with cybersecurity. Here's some reasons why. Number one, you have to protect your liability. You have to be able to say, look, I told you that you had this risk. I told you that the chances of you getting hacked is real. I told you that you better have MFA in place. I told you that you better have all these systems and tools in place. Had a guy today, actually, Lindsey, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a gentleman today that posted about, hey, I had this basic stack that I include to all my clients and I sell it for like $1,400 or something. I don't know if you saw that one. It was a really popular post in the big Facebook group. But the thing that he didn't have included with this, and I actually sent it to Ryan O'Hara, who's our VP of Member Services, and I said, what is this guy going to do? Because here's Ryan's response. Actually, I'm going to bring this up in Teams really quick because this is such a classic response. I sent it to Ryan, and he sent it to me back. Come on, Teams, let's go. My phone is the one time I need my phone to respond. He said to me, he said, I have 63 clients in this package and they're happy. Yeah, until they get breached because you aren't doing most of the necessary security things. That is a real problem that these guys have to have in place, right? So you got to think about all the stuff there. So you have to protect your liability. Second thing, obviously, we have to protect the client. That is really key. But big difference between client protection and client prevention. For years, this industry has used terms like antivirus, anti-spam, prevention. Those words are really, really dangerous. And you have to be the one that pivots away from, I can protect anything, I can break anything, I can fix anything, blah, 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 to I'll do my best. I'll put the tools in and I'll do my best. That's really key. So you obviously have to protect yourself from liability standpoint. You obviously have to protect your client from any easy to do things. But you have to also understand that as you go down this path, your competitors that you're dealing with are going to start, if they're not already, start leading with cybersecurity. They're going to start talking about cybersecurity risk assessments. I will tell you this, our clients in seven-figure MSP, their job now is to lead every single prospect, every single client gets a cybersecurity risk assessment. Think about the holes that we can poke in anybody that we're going up against, even the cheap guys. Side note, guys, this is how you combat the cheapy guy. Hey, that's fine if you want to go that cheap, but here's what you're leaving on the table. We can combat that all day long by showing risk, by showing all of the holes. And we just all talked about the fact that everyone can get breached. We can't stop it. But you know what? There's going to be, any time there's business-related issues, there's going to be a breach. There's going to be an insurance involved. There's going to be any type of that involved. Anytime there's a claim involved, there's going to be an investigation and a remediation firm. And the insurance company is going to come in and be like, here's who's responsible. And that's where the money's going to go. Follow the money is always the biggest key. So what this means for you, and I want you to be very conscious of this, is the days of break fix IT are effectively gone. Now, I'm not saying you can't go out there and close deals selling break fix. I'm not saying that you can't go. In fact, Cindy calls break fix paid leads. I'm not saying you can't do projects. But you need to make sure you cross every T and dot every I when it comes to liability and agreements and risk management and all these different things. So you have to be really, really smart about it. And all roads should always lead to cybersecurity, all roads. So you should be selling and leading with cybersecurity. And here's the big problem. Your clients think that you're doing everything that they need for cybersecurity. Even the break fix people think that you're doing the right stuff. You're the expert. Imagine going to the dentist and the dentist's like, okay, don't need that exam. And then 3 months later, your tooth falls out. Who are you blaming? Well, why do you, I didn't do an exam. I didn't realize you had that abscess inside of your tooth. Not my fault.
I'm not an oral surgeon. I don't do that.
Exactly. Like those are things that you have to be really careful about, guys. And I want you to be very conscious of this because I have people come back to me every single day in this industry and say, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do cybersecurity. I'm an IT guy. I'm a managed service provider. I don't do security. It's all together, guys. Times have changed. You have to do things differently and you have to be very conscious of that because your clients think you're already doing everything they need for cybersecurity across the board. And if you do not believe me, here's a great exercise to try. Call the decision makers at, let's just say, your biggest 3 clients. Mr. Client, hey, in fact, call them right now. I was on the dark web today. I saw that you guys were breached. Half the money in your bank account is going to be gone tomorrow. What's your plan? What do you think they're going to say? I want you guys to put this in the chat for me. What do you think they're going to say? We're going to call our client. I'm watching the dark web. You guys are going to get breached tonight, or you're actively getting breached. Half the money is getting wired out of your accounts right now. What's your plan? What are they going to do? Who are they going to blame? What are they going to say? Really good comment here. If you saw this one from David, most insurance companies are also asking, what are you doing to protect the business and educate your people? So when do we get in talk? And Alan, we'll get there, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you the why.
That's all part of it. I mean, you have to understand the why.
The why is key here because if you don't understand this, we don't get it. But this is a really key thing from Bridget.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were taking part of that is what's really key. And here's another one from Barry. You're fired and you will be sued. These are really, really important things that I want you to realize. And Alan, this is why it's important to educate on cybersecurity and why it's important to go down this path. And that's why I'm talking about this on the front side. So what are your steps from me? And I want you to get into that here with me. So we got a couple things. First of all, in your offering, no more, good, better, best. One plan, full stack. Why full stack only? One word, and it's liability. I'll even add negligence to this mix. Because how will you or your clients refute a charge of negligence? I told you to do the cybersecurity. I did an exam. I did all the right things on the front side. And this is where we're going to pivot back to Lindsey in a few minutes here. You want to be educating and training around cybersecurity across the board. But if you don't believe this internally, and if your messaging doesn't match, it's not going to matter, guys. That's what's key. Second piece here, you have to do a cybersecurity risk assessment across the board. This is really, really key. Why a full risk assessment? You have to gather data. You got to find pain in the issues. We have to find the actual risk, and we have to discover the emotional ties. This is what matters here. And here's a deliverable I have for you guys. Get your phones ready so you can do those, or your screenshotters. Here's our Run the Play workshop worksheet that can actually help you to get this done on the side. The reason I'm going through this stuff on the front side is to make sure we have a standard that you're all understanding. We should be delivering. I don't care if you charge $300 a seat. Hey, charge $75 a seat. But the bottom line is you should be delivering and leading and selling with cybersecurity first. That's what's really key here. So step 3 then is to present your risk findings. Don't forget, guys, you're going to get a whole summary of this, and there's going to be all these pages will be on the end as well. We'll have all the QR codes summarized. But then you present your risk findings. Do not talk tech. Instead, highlight all of those emotional points that we just talked about. It's going to take time, all that stuff that you put together, all the stuff that you found during the cybersecurity risk assessment to create that emotion and need. And you have to turn on the risk light bulb. And if you don't, you're never going to create that need. It's really, really important. And then you can actively sell your prospect at $300 per seat. Okay. I can already hear you guys kind of telling me, but Chris, I can't sell this in my market. People do not extensively deliberate on price when they are like, holy crap, my money's going to be gone tomorrow. I have no plan. That's what we need to do. So we're shifting the relationship, and you highlight all of your price objections and eliminate them by showing them the pain and showing them their needs. And here's some good examples of some of these guys that are making this stuff happen. So we got Raj selling at $400 per seat, got Felipe selling at $500 per seat, got Felipe again, another one, and Reginald selling another one. So some good examples there for you. And I'm going to come back on the end and we'll talk a little bit more how to do that. But moving forward, I'm going to bring Lindsey in. Lindsey, you ready to share your stuff?
Yeah, so this is the moment of truth, is if Lindsey can share her PowerPoint. So let's see. I'm going to present. I'm going to share my screen. And I've got 12 different tabs open. Here we go. 3 secrets.
You could probably do the PowerPoint show is probably the best one to do.
PowerPoint.
Do the entire, I think it's the window option, and then choose PowerPoint slideshow.
Your screen.
Lindsey's PowerPoint was broken before, which is why we had to fix this.
Alrighty, share.
There we go. All right, I see. You got to do your full show though. You're doing your.
Okay. Here we go. So this is what happens whenever you give Lindsey.
Kyle, the link is broken. Let me check that for you, Kyle, really quick here. Let me just back up.
See, I had it on my desktop and it won't let me share the desktop. Okay, that's okay.
You can just do it that way too. That's fine.
Yep, this will work.
Kyle, I'm testing this for you really quick here. Let me just see.
Also, just so you all know, we are transitioning from using Zoom webinar to now we're in Streamyard. And so it's coming a little bit of a learning curve. So let's hear from Lindsey. Okay, here we go. Present.
Oh, you know what it is, Kyle? Here's what it is. It is a zip file. So we have one that's in PDF for you as well. This is looking great now. Oh, it was just good, whatever you just had.
Oh my God. No, it started it from the beginning. Jeez.
That's okay.
It's fine. Present from this slide. Is this going to work? Okay, it takes me back to the beginning.
Oh, that's okay. Just go all the way through. You're fine.
All right, so this is good. So I do want to hear in the chat really quick before we get started. I can't see the chat, so Chris, you're going to have to like read it out as we go. Tell me, what have you learned so far? So listening to Chris, listening to cyber landscape has changed. What have you all taken away so far? Is this news to you? So as you were talking,
that's actually a really good question. Like, is this actually news? Lindsey, I'm gonna go to our full screen here so you can get rolling.
Yeah.
Is this news to you guys, or is this something that you feel like you're ready for? I really want to see some stuff in the chat on that.
Because I wrote down something over here that I think stops a lot of MSPs from kind of going all in on this and going all in on the cybersecurity play and taking this message to their clients. And it's believing that avoidance, and it's the same thing that maybe your clients do as well, or that your leads do as well. It's believing that avoidance is a strategy. Mm-hmm. So think about like politicians. What do they do? They avoid.
Good comments here. Vince said, it's where we need to go. David said, be proactive with your clients in relation to cybersecurity and engagement on threat landscape. Michael said, I'm ready for it. All right, Lindsey's almost there. How you coming?
Forever. No, that's not what I want.
The problem is you're on a Mac. That's it.
That really is the problem. That's the issue.
Yeah, Amy just said here, I learned my clients are getting a bargain. And I don't know if it's Amy or Ami. I'm sorry if I'm screwing that up. But one thing to remember on this is I wouldn't say that your clients are getting a bargain, but you're more – and just actually really quick on this. My $300 per seat thing comes from cost of goods sold plus an 80% gross profit margin. That's where that comes into play. Okay. So when we're talking about that, I don't care if you're at $300 per seat, but looking at where your numbers are, that's best in class MSP is an 80% profit margin. That's really where you want to go.
Yep.
So good things to think about. Okay. Amy said.
Okay. Awesome. So I've got my screen where I need it to be. Can you see it?
Okay. Yep. Can see it. Good to go.
Awesome. So handing the baton now. All right. So as Chris has talked with you so far, we know that the cyber landscape has changed. Okay. And so don't roll your eyes and say, yeah, Chris, we know that. We may know that, but are we acting on it? Okay. So are we acting on that? Are we actively putting cybersecurity in our messaging? Are we actively talking about cybersecurity to our existing clients, or are we treating it as a one-off service? Okay. So we're going to talk about this today, as well as how do we generate these leads consistently and sustainably to continue to grow our MSP. So we know that, yes, we're sharing the liability. We know that risk is greater than ever. Every single day that I open up my Google Chrome browser on my phone, there is like almost daily, there's a new breach or a new hack or someone that's been being held at ransomware. Actually, did you see this? I almost shared this in our Facebook group where the famous like hacking group or whatever hacked a business. The business did not report it to whoever it needed to be reported to. So then the hackers literally went and reported the hack themselves in order to help their ransomware. Like, what? So organized. So anyways, this is increasing daily. And again, we cannot avoid it. Avoidance is not a strategy. Maybe temporary, but definitely not long-term. Okay. And not only do our clients have ethical obligations to adhere to, reporting, making sure that they're protecting their clients' sensitive data, ensuring that PII is protected, all these things, but also they have legal responsibilities. So one campaign that we actively are teaching our clients to implement in their lead generation is the Federal Trade Commission safeguards regulations that just went into effect or that have just been strengthened this year in June of this year. So this is stating that, hey, if you're a non-banking financial institution, you now have to be doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G to ensure that you're complying with new regulations. So not only do we have to help our clients in this ethical stance of cybersecurity, but also in a legal stance. Also in, hey, there's jail time. That's a potential risk here. There's penalties. There's your reputation at stake here. Okay, so there's a lot of things at play. And so really, this is great news for you, right? Like, it's not good for small business owners, but it is great news for you as the MSP, as the cybersecurity expert. Even if you have not been selling cybersecurity, it's your time to shine right now. Okay, so it is literally your time to get in on this, be ahead of the curve. In fact, I think that's one of the ways that we pride our clients is like they are ahead of the curve and they are actively selling cybersecurity first. It's first and foremost. And then of course, project work. And of course, everything else comes into play with that. But you all have to get into this mindset of cybersecurity first. Okay. So we know that we have to show our clients the reality of the current cyber threats. Why? Because if we're not sharing this with them, no one else is, right? They're going to see the hacks. They're going to see the breaches. They're going to see the realities happening out there. But they're going to say, oh, well, we're too small to be hacked. We're too small. We don't have enough employees for that. That doesn't happen in Georgia or Florida or wherever. Okay, that's not going to happen to us. So it's on us to share that. It's on us to put that in our marketing. It's on us to share that, not from this place of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and trying to get people to be scared into getting cybersecurity. But we have to share that reality with them. Okay. We also know that we have to turn on the risk light bulb for our existing clients, okay? Because like Chris said, if you were to call them and say, hey, half the money in your bank account is going to go missing by tomorrow, what's your plan? They're going to say, oh, I thought you were doing that. Are you? Are you doing that? Okay, so it's our job to be turning on that light bulb that says, oh, wait a minute, this is real. I need to take care of it. Are we maximizing our services? Are we making sure that we're covering all of our bases to mitigate our risk? Okay, and then third, we've got to implement a process. Okay, so what I'm going to walk you through here is the actual process of the lead generation. It's going to be at a pretty, 50,000 foot view. I'm going to get into some of the specifics around list building and around niching down, hyper targeting, and overall a campaign, how to work this. But you've got to implement a process, okay? And there's lots of fine details in all of that, right? But you've got to work your process. And then you're also going to hear Chris talk about the actual sales process. And you heard him mention the cybersecurity risk assessment. This is the process that every single one of your clients, every single one of your leads has to go through. Okay, so I'll tell you from our end as coaches, what we do in our coaching program is we ensure that every single one of you that come in, you learn how to sell first. Okay, because I can teach you all day how to market. I could teach you right now, well, let's go put out these posts, let's push out these emails, let's drip out this content, say this, do that, X, Y, Z, right? But if you get these leads in to the door and then you're still selling them the same way that you always have, what's going to happen? You're going to continue to get the same results, selling at $50 a seat, kind of skimping on cybersecurity. They're picking this and choosing what they want. Okay, that's not how we're going to scale, right? So we've got to be implementing this process from A to Z. You can't just pick the pieces that you want. You can't just say, oh, well, I'm only going to implement Lindsey's marketing process, and I'm not going to do this stuff about cybersecurity. I'm not going to implement this the CSRA process. I don't want to do that. I'm only going to do the marketing. Well, that's like fishing with a fishing rod, but you have no line. You have no bait. Okay, so you've got to implement the full process. So again, these steps alone right here are going to implement massive results, but how do we actually generate the leads, right? So someone put in the chat, okay, when are you going to talk about how to generate the leads? That's what we're going to do. Okay, so your job as CEO is to drive leads to and through your pipeline every single day. So I'm curious, tell me in the chat, and Chris, you're going to have to read these off to me because I can't see them. Tell me in the chat, how many of you have talked to 10 leads today? Just put like a me or a yes or no or nope. Like just let me know in the chat really quick. How many of you have talked to 10 leads?
How many of you have talked to 10 leads today? And I will tell you, in 7-figure MSP, we have for sure. Our team does that. Lindsey, you watch all that on there. But most MSPs are talking to like 10 leads a quarter. David said, not today, dang, nope.
Okay.
Got a bunch here, nope. I don't think any. Very few people are going to have talked to.
So
we got one from Andy here. Andy said he did, so that's great.
All right, go Andy.
Andy, I got your name right now. So
what about in the past week? Have you talked to 10 leads in the past week? 10 leads in the past week. Tell me, have you could be current?
Reese said he just said talk to 5. That's cool.
Okay.
Kyle said talk to 3 today. That's really good.
Awesome.
Getting some people that said, Michael said, yes, talked to 10 in the last week. Got another one from Kyle said yes. Another one from Jason, another one from Steven. So a lot of people are I think that
love that.
Gets better and better as we go here, right?
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So here's the thing. Every single day, it's our job to be driving leads into the top of your funnel, into the top of your pipeline. Okay. Because if we think about the way that a funnel works, you're going to have more leads up here. So if I'm talking to 10 a day, okay, as they go down the funnel, as they go through the process, it's going to get less and less and less and less and less. So if I'm only talking to one person a week at my networking event, because I'm a devout member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I go to this networking event and I spend the entire time talking to one person, well, that's like putting all of my eggs in this one basket. I can't guarantee that one person is going to go through to the CSRA. They're going to go through the presentation. They're going to close the client. I can't do that. It's a numbers game. Okay. And Marketing Machine, we talk about marketing is not only, or sales is not only a numbers game, but it's also a messaging game. It's a game of psychology, but it's absolutely a play on how many people can I talk to in a day. Okay. So every single day we got to ask ourselves, who am I talking to today? How am I getting out there? Okay. How am I going to drive leads through that pipeline? But how do you do that? How do you do that when you're busy, right? How do you do that whenever you're doing all the other things? You've got to start being the chief doer. Okay. And this is where the piece of marketing or the piece of sales and business comes in that isn't so strategic per se. It's more of you stepping into this place of leadership in your company, into this place of I have to be the chief, right, revenue driver. I have to be the one that's in charge of these leads coming in, going through the pipeline. I've got to step out of doing all the other things that make me busy. So you heard Chris say in the beginning of this, close the tickets, close everything else, close whatever else it is that you're working on. Okay. And just be here right now. You being here in this class with us right now is you stepping into this chief revenue driver, right? I'm the chief pipeline producer, right? Like you have to be that person. Okay. So just for a point of reference, our Marketing Machine clients are devoting at least 20 hours per week to their marketing and lead generation. This is not an exaggeration. It's literally a part of the application to move from sales process with Cindy and Ryan and Chris to move into Marketing Machine with Lindsey. They literally on their application, do you have at least 20 hours per week to devote to Marketing Machine? That's a question on there. And if they put no, they don't get in. If they put no, then sorry, you'll have to come back whenever you have the time. Okay, because this is realistic. It's not just, oh, I'm going to go and put out one social media post per week. That's not a marketing strategy. Okay. A marketing strategy is literally strategically saying, how many people am I going to talk to today? How many leads are going to enter into the top of my pipeline? How many hours of work am I going to put into this? Okay. So you can see here a couple of our clients, John Hansman said, hey, marketing win, I'm going to go present to 145 CPAs in Washington State. This is him putting in the time to build a relationship and go get in front of the number of people that he needs to get into to drive those leads to and through his pipeline. You'll see Earl over here said, hey, Lindsey, I just started Marketing Machine last week. I've already got a first-time appointment tomorrow. You've got Carmine said, hey, I'm working on all these things. He came in to Marketing Machine in August or into Marketing Machine Live in August. And he's like, all right, I'm putting up my webinars, my lives. I've got my newsletters. All those things took time. That was 2 full days.
Hey, can I say something really quick here, Lindsey?
Yeah.
Roy just said, when you're a one-person show, how do you get 10 leads a day? John, just to give you an idea, Roy, John Hansman is a one-person show. Mm-hmm. He built that relationship, and now he's doing webinars, I'd say once every other month to 150 CPAs at a crack. So that's how you do that. You get yourself in and you get yourself some scale right there.
Yep. And John's also our newest MSP in residence coach too. So he works with other MSPs here in the community. All right, then you got Carl again. Carl's a one-person show. Carl actually just hired his first VA actually to help him out with lead generation. So Carl says, hey, I'm getting ready to present a FTC, Federal Trade Commission webinar to 54 CPAs in the room. So same exact thing, building the right relationships, shaking hands. And we're going to talk about how to do this here in a few minutes. And then Jason and Mark actually just joined the program like 2 or 3 months ago. Just did our first webinar. We've had 3 of 8 show up. It was good practice. One person signed up for a first-time appointment. He actually turned around and said he had another one sign up for a first-time appointment. Last time I checked, one of those had already converted to a cybersecurity risk assessment. So really cool stuff. But again, they immerse themselves into owning their results. They put in the time, and they know that it's their chief duty every single day to be working on this. Okay, we cannot hand it off to someone else. So let's talk about how they do this. But first, before we do that, let's talk about what they don't do. They're not copy and pasting from what they see other successful MSPs doing. They're not dumping it all on their teams and expecting overnight results. I should put that one in like all capital letters. They are not outsourcing it to all-in-one marketing agencies, hoping again for overnight results. Do marketing agencies have a place? Absolutely. We have some awesome agencies that we work with. But again, you have to own the results of that strategy. They do not depend on referrals alone. They're not saying that they're too introverted to market or network. They're not hiding in the shadows, waiting for the leads to come to them. The old saying, if I build it, they will come. That's a lie. Doesn't work. They do not soak up tons of free info, webinars, masterclasses, books, live events, conferences, etc., and then not take action. So they're here and they're soaking up and they're fired up, and then they leave and not do anything. No, our clients are action takers, 100%. And they do not sit behind the computers, spend weeks or months writing a book or building out a freebie or insert something else that's taken up tons of time and then doing nothing with it. Okay. Every single day we're pushing them, make the calls, send the email, do the follow-ups, put the post out there, go live. When's your webinar scheduled for? Are you following up with those attendees? All these things every single day. Okay. So top 3 things that they are doing. Number 1, they're getting out of their bubbles. Yes, they're bubbles. Think about your bubble. How far does your bubble go? And they're positioning themselves as a cybersecurity expert. Why? So they can get into the rooms with their ideal clients. So let's talk about this. You just saw John Hansman in a room with over 150 of his ideal clients. Then you saw Carl. I'm in a room with over 50 of my ideal clients. I'm positioning myself as the cybersecurity expert. Why are they doing that? That's where their leads are. Their leads are not in their office behind the computer and they're playing in their new PSA, right? Like their leads are in those rooms doing business, doing work, doing life. So therefore they are going to go get into those rooms and position themselves as the expert. Okay. They are also building lists. So literally building out physical lists and directly building relationships with those ideal clients. So again, we're not waiting on referrals. Referrals are great. We love referrals. Okay. But they're not waiting on those. They're not depending on that to be an actual marketing. A referral strategy is not a whole marketing strategy. That's not a sales plan. Okay. You have to have a plan behind this. We're going to build lists. And this is what we actively do inside of internally configure. We're building out lists, and then we're sending emails. We're doing calls. We're sending postcards. We're doing all of those things to generate leads and build relationships. Okay. And then third, they're practicing skills, okay, that help them implement a rinse and repeat strategy. What this means is that, again, we're building out that process, and we're going to talk about this here in a few minutes, that's rinse and repeat. So it doesn't matter the algorithm. It doesn't matter what kind of economy we're in. It doesn't matter what month of the year it is. It doesn't matter if people are opening up their mail and checking their email. Like these are strategies that survive and thrive no matter what. Okay. So let's talk about the first one here. How do our most successful clients get out of that bubble into the rooms with their ideal clients? So how do I get in front of over 100 of my ideal clients so that I can generate those leads? If I want to get 10 leads a month, every single month, qualified leads, how do I do that? Okay. You've got to ask to be there. Number one. So tell me in the chat right now, put a 1 in the chat if you have asked to be in the room with your ideal clients in the last 30 days. I'll give you some grace here. In the last 30 days, have you asked to be in a room, in a space, in an event, in a place where you've got lots of your ideal clients there, where you have a group of your ideal clients there? This is one of the most underestimated, underutilized ways to create massive results. So in the last 30 days, have you asked to be in a room with your ideal clients?
Getting a lot of yeses, a lot of ones here.
Awesome. Love that. Okay. That's something that you have direct control over. You have control over if you're in those rooms or not. You have control of whether you make the ask or not. And my guess is if you haven't, you're not going to put that in the chat, and that's okay. That's why you're here, right? And I'm going to give you a tool. I'm going to give you a resource today that's going to help you do just that. Okay. So whenever you make this ask, whenever you ask to put yourself into these rooms, you have to position yourself as a cybersecurity first company. Okay. Whether you have a stack put together or not, you have to put yourself as the cyber expert. Not that, oh, yeah, we also offer cybersecurity. Oh, yeah, maybe we'll do that after the project work is done. Oh, yeah, if you're interested, then we can also add on our cybersecurity services. If it's an afterthought for you, well, you can bet money it's going to be an afterthought for your leads. Okay. If you're giving them a quote, as soon as someone calls you and you're giving them a quote right then and there, you're like, great, I'll send you over a quote to do that project work. Oh, by the way, we also do cybersecurity. I'll send that over as well. What do you think their response is going to be? Oh, no, thank you. We're good. We're going to focus on this first. So you have to lead with cybersecurity. That way, whenever you get into the rooms with those ideal clients and you take them through your process that we've been talking about here, they know, and you're confident in your ability to move them through to that cybersecurity risk assessment so that you can assess their risk and then show them, hey, based on what we found, here's what it would look like to work with us. Here's what it would look like to help mitigate your risk and grow your company. Technology that works, right? And of course, help desk and tickets and project and all those things, you can work all that out, but it's cybersecurity comes first. It can't be an afterthought for you or for them. Okay. So you've got to proudly act like the expert, and you cannot question if you are the expert. And now I know that this is tough. And I actually saw this at, just a week and a half ago at IT Nation, where we were literally talking about, well, like what stops you from putting yourself out there? And it was so cool. We had an awesome pre-day event, but several of our attendees were like, I don't feel like the expert. Like, am I really a cybersecurity expert? And I think that this is something that a lot of MSPs deal with. I know that most business owners deal with this, or if you're making a career change or shifting your messaging or whatever, you're going to deal with this. And you're going to say, well, am I the expert? Am I? Here's the thing. To your clients, you are the expert. Because remember, they already think that you're doing these things. They don't know any different. When they're thinking about cybersecurity, they're thinking about the computer guy or the computer company, right? They're going to put all these things together in one in their head. So to them, you already are the expert. All right. And then here's the really, really cool part is that to be the expert, you don't have to know everything. No one is saying that you have to have all the answers. You've got to have the degree and the master's and the certifications and all those things. And those are great. And they serve a time and a place in some instances. But it's not that you have to have all the answers. You just have to know that you can get the answers. That's it. You just have to be confident in your ability to figure it out. Okay. There's a really cool book by Marie Forleo that says everything is figure outable. And it's like, well, if I don't know it now, I can figure it out, right? I can lean into my community. I can ask the Facebook group. I can ask my peer group. I can take it to my coaches. I can go and ask Cindy, Chris, Ryan, Lindsey. I'll figure it out. Okay, don't ask me the tech questions because I'm no help there. So here's what I want you to do. On the very next screen, I'm going to share with you a script. I'm going to quickly go through this. You don't have to screenshot this because I'm actually going to give you the resource. But for all of you that have said, yes, I have been in the room with my ideal clients in the last 30 days, or yes, I've made an ask, or those of you that said no, or maybe you didn't put anything in the chat, I'm going to challenge you. Are you up for a challenge? And I don't want you to wait until after Thanksgiving or until after the first of the year or until after Christmas or whatever. I want you to do this now. So I'm going to challenge you to do this. Who's down for a challenge? Put yes in the chat. Are you down for a challenge? Are we down for a challenge? Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take what I'm going to show you, and I want you to send this out to at least 10 different groups or 10 different clients of yours that you currently have. Okay, and you're going to ask to put yourself in the rooms with your ideal clients. This is the easiest part, guys, right? Like this is sending an email. Can we send an email? Yeah, we can send an email. This is so easy.
So many good let's do it. Yes, absolutely is in here. So let's see it.
All right, let's do it. So here's what I want you to do. This is just a sample of one of the scripts that are in there. Basically, you are asking, this is one that goes out to your existing client base. This is asking, hey, we've done this work together. And this is really if you're already doing cybersecurity. If you're not, then I would use one of the other scripts in there. Hey, based on the work that we've done together, we would like to work with other business owners similar to yours. We would like to go in and teach them or offer a cybersecurity awareness training. Do you have a couple of people that you could refer us to, basically? In gratitude of that, we will, do a fill the fridge, or we will send you a gift card, or we will offer lunch or whatever to your team for a day. Okay. In this resource right here, and you can scan this if you are on your desktop, you can scan it with your phone, or you can use the link right there, 7figuremsp.link/ask-template. Okay, and there's about 5 scripts in there. You're going to see one that can be sent out to universities or educational institutions. You're going to see one that can be sent to like a Rotary or Chamber of Commerce. You're going to see one that can go to nonprofits in there. Okay. I want you to send out this email to at least 10 different places or people. Okay. And this is going to, and I want to know, what results do you get back? How many rooms can you get in the next 30 days? Send this out to 10 people before the end of the week, before Thanksgiving. And then how many rooms can you get in before the end of the month or before the next 30 days? That's basically before Christmas week. Okay. So go ahead and grab that link and we're going to keep going. We'll also put this in the chat as well, just to make sure you all get it. Okay. So now let's talk about, well, now that I'm in the room, great. Okay, Lindsey, I've done that. I'm sending out these emails. That was the easy part. Cool. Well, what do I need to do now to really get into the offense of my marketing? I want to generate 10 leads a month. I want 10 booked appointments on my calendar every single month. First of all, let me just say that that's doable for every single one of you in this room right now. Every single one of you, whether you're a 1-person show or you're a 10-person show or you're a 100-person show, every single one of you can be booking 10 first-time appointments per month. Okay. And whenever we say first-time appointments, we're talking about a very initial meeting, an initial phone call, typically, or a Zoom call that's just pre-screening these potential clients. It's 10, 15 minutes pre-screening, pre-qualifiers. I sometimes call this the "can I stand the sound of your voice" call. where you're not even talking about quotes or endpoints or anything else yet. You're just pre-qualifying them. Every single one of you can have 10 of those. Okay? How do we do that? We've got to build and work our lists. We've got to actually go in and build out these lists that have our target audience on this list so that we can go and run our process on them. Okay, so I'm going to get into the rooms, I'm going to build this list, then I'm going to go run the process. How do I do that? Well, first, let's talk about why it's critical. Number one, are you on track to hit your revenue goal for this year? Tell me in the chat really quick, yes or no. Are you on track to hit your 2023 revenue goal? Are you on track to hit your 2023 revenue goal? Okay. Number two.
Lindsey, really quick on this. Some people were kind of throwing some stuff in the chat that they doubt that you can get 10 leads per month or 10 leads per week. I will tell you, back in 2013 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we were averaging 45 a month at my MSP in Milwaukee. So this is totally that's 10 per week, guys. This is not some crazy stuff. It just takes constant, consistent action and following what Lindsey's telling you.
Yeah. And you're going to see this play out with the numbers here in just a second. All right. So are you on track to hit your 23 revenue goal? Now, are you on track to hit your 2024 revenue goal? It's November of 2023. And we should already have an outlook on our 24 revenue goals. Okay. I know internally we do, right? Internally, we have a plan to hit our goals already for next year. We're already laying the groundwork for that. Okay. Here's why. What we're doing right now, is going to actually come to fruition 6 months from now. So meaning whatever I'm doing right now in November of 23, I'm going to see these results come to fruition of April of next year. Why? Because relationships take time. Sales takes time, especially in MSP world. The sales process is longer. You do have to run the assessment, get the results, present your findings, go to budget sometimes, do these things. It takes longer. You're putting out there 300, 400, 500, $1 million contracts. Stuff takes time. Okay, so what you're doing now is laying the seeds for what's going to come to fruition 6 months from now. So meaning that the work for 2024 has already begun. Okay, so remember, we're not relying on referrals. We're not outsourcing it. We're not doing all these things, saying we're too introverted, right? We're going to build out hyper-targeted lists. Now, what does this look like? Whenever we stop relying only on referrals and only on Google searches, we are going to, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do this. We're going to make sure that we're targeting by industry, number one. Now, this is something that you can go ahead and screenshot if you want. I'm also going to give you a resource that helps you with this. But number one, you're going to target. Okay, so you're going to ask yourself, what's an industry or what's a niche in my area or in the area that I want to target that shows opportunity or that has a need, that has a demand there? Okay, so for an example, I recently moved to Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, we have a huge port here. We have a paper mill here. We have tons and tons of cargo, logistics. There's tons of stuff that's going in and out of this area. So if I were an MSP, I would be focusing on manufacturers and logistical. That's where I would be. Okay, because there's demand for it here. Now, if you are in, let's say you're in Northern California, okay, maybe you're going to focus on tech companies, tech startups, because there's demand for it there. So ask yourself, wherever you are, who in my area has a problem to be solved that I can focus on as an MSP? I can focus my messaging on this target market. I can say, okay, manufacturer, here's the problem that we help you solve. We help you optimize your efficiency so that you can get more done faster. We can help you operate at peak speed through technology and cybersecurity. Okay, so I'm bringing it back to this problem that I can help them solve, because people buy solutions, not services, right? So even as a cybersecurity company, I've got to think about what's the problem that I'm helping them solve. So example industries could be, again, manufacturing, logistics. It could be tech startups, accounting firms, nonprofits, life sciences, car dealerships. Okay. I just talked to a client this morning who just signed a car dealership based on the Federal Trade Commission safeguards, because they are now bound by the FTC safeguards as a non-banking financial institution that connects consumers to financial agencies. Okay, they're doing leases, they're doing financing. They are now bound by FTC safeguards. Okay, so what's the problem that you're going to help this industry solve, and who is that industry? Number two, we've got to know the number of seats and users. And and you're going to see exactly why these are so important here in a few minutes when you actually go to build that list. Okay, so what are the number of employees that these target companies have? I will tell you, most of our clients are shooting for at minimum 10 employees per company. The reason why we do that is that, one, they're going to be at a maturity level, same with your annual revenue. They're going to be at a maturity level that allows them to make these longer term decisions, signing 3, 4, 5-year contracts. Again, $500,000 million contracts here, okay, that allow them to make those decisions. And that also help us hit our monthly minimum, right? So I would rather have one company that's paying $6,000 a month rather than having to go find 6 companies that are paying $1,000 per month, right? So just the math makes sense. I'm going to find companies that have more employees so I can charge my $300 minimum per seat. And so I'm going to charge that minimum, try to find more employees within a single company so that I can hit my numbers. And I know that maturity-wise, they're at a place where they're looking to grow. Okay? Same with your annual revenue here. Our clients are moving upstream. So I want you to think about this. Where do most of your clients need to be revenue-wise? And if these are not questions that you're asking, we have to start asking these questions in your discovery, in these conversations that you're having with leads. Where are your clients mostly at revenue-wise that they feel confident and they feel good about making these long-term decisions? Is it going to be these startups that are in $250 a year, $500 a year? They're probably going to be making their decisions based off of price, and rightly so, right? Okay. But whenever you start looking at companies that are $3 million a year, $7 million a year, $10 million a year, $20 million, $50 million a year, these are companies that are looking at their 5-year plan. They're looking at their 10-year growth plan. They're kind of getting out of this fly by the seat of our pants. We just got to make payroll this week mindset, right? And they're making these longer term business decisions, and partnering with the cybersecurity and technology partner that you are, you can help them do that. You can help them hit their goals. So now you're no longer an expense. You're no longer, oh, let's find the cheapest IT department that can just get us online. It's now we're going to partner with this technology and cybersecurity company to ensure that we're on track to grow. To ensure that we're on track to hit our 5 and 10-year goals. Okay, so think about moving upstream. Think about moving at least, I would say at like the bare minimum, looking at for companies that are at least $1 million per year in annual revenue. Okay, and then last but not least here, your geographic location. So again, this is just looking at what target areas do I need to focus on. Now, if you can focus on companies that are anywhere, it doesn't matter. That's great. I love that for you. But whenever it comes to building out a list, we're going to pick one region or one location at a time. Okay, so that you can focus on them. You can focus your messaging there. You can assess your numbers. You can do the math. You can make sure that what you're putting out there is getting traction. You can make changes as necessary, rather than having, oh, I'm going to target 100,000 people across the country. It's really hard to make specific or specified decisions based on generalized data. Okay, so when I'm looking at a list of 100,000 of all different types and sizes of businesses, it's really hard to make business decisions and marketing changes and think about how our sales team needs to change or pivot when it's all general information. Okay, so let's see what this looks like in practice. Number one, our clients, or even us actually, we're using Apollo, Instantly, Seamless, or Sales Navigator also to build out our list. Okay, so any of these work, and I know that we're probably going to get questions on this, like, oh, I'm using this, does this work? Or hey, is Apollo or Seamless better? Most of them are going to do basically the same thing. Okay, so that's the thing. All the platforms work. They all have different nuances. Instantly, their list builder is fairly new. Their email software is great. List builder is kind of new. Apollo is pretty solid across the board. Same with Seamless. Sales Navigator is great. In fact, and I had this on my old slide deck. I didn't put it into this one, but And Chris, you can even attest to this, but SalesNav, we especially like it because the information is really current, right? Because
think about who's updating LinkedIn. The leads are self-updating LinkedIn. The only thing they don't necessarily have tied to that is email address and mobile number. But the list itself is really good. And Lindsey, I know you know this too, that we have we do road shows around the nation. So kind of exactly what Lindsey's talking about here, we do. So we do road shows around North America. In fact, we're hitting the UK and Australia next year. But great example of this is we go on Sales Navigator. We're going to Los Angeles in 3 weeks.
16 days.
16 days. And we built a list of 2,500 MSP owners. So go back to your hyper targeted list slide there really quick. So if you think about this, I built a list of 2,500. I think it's a couple back.
This
One more. There you go. So we built a list of 2,500 MSP owners. So industry targeted. We targeted based on how many employees they have, how much annual revenue, and geographic location. So literally that exact thing. And we are having a live steak lunch and learn at a Fleming's Steakhouse in El Segundo, California on December 7th. We sent out a postcard, we built all those, and then we called down and emailed down all those people to drive them to our live event. So great example of that. That's exactly what we do internally here. We use Sales Navigator. One thing that I will tell you that I get a lot from MSPs is, oh, what free tools do you have? Spend some damn money. Sales Navigator costs $75. Some of these other pieces are, Apollo's not super cheap. Seamless is not super cheap, but you're probably going to get $300, $400, $500 a month combined in multiple lists. And that's part of the deal. Like that's how this works. I use the same exact strategy. It goes all the way back. The best lists are built, not bought across the board. Yeah. Derek said out of the 2,500, how many are attending the lunch? So here's what I will tell you. Out of the 2,500, we cleaned the list coming out of that. I think we got about 1,000 that were really good contacts and we're actively on it. I mean, our goal is about 50 to show up to the lunch is our goal. It's going to, it depends on the city and it depends on the time. We usually are between 35 and 50 is where we're at. Okay. All right, Lindsey, sorry to take your thunder there. Just great example.
Oh, good. No, this is good. All right. So again, our favorite list building tools, Apollo, Instantly, Seamless, all of these work, right? Like all of them work, but do you? That's the question. Like, are you doing this? And I would say like a rule of thumb, just so that you can start thinking about this of like, oh, well, should I spend the money? How much should I allot to this in my budget? Your marketing budget, depending on what your goals are, okay, at least 4 to 5% of your revenue should go to your marketing and your sales and getting your company in front of more people. Okay, so do the math on that. Are you currently devoting at least 4 to 5% to your marketing efforts? Okay, so there should be budget built in for this. Okay. So this is an actual screen grab from Apollo. So you'll see why practically we got to have that information, right? So here's why we want to filter down by industry. So we're filtering here. We're looking for C-level executives. So CEO, president, co-founder, owner, president and CEO. So you see all these different titles for C-level executives. Then we're going down to location. So we're filtering down to locations in Texas. Then we're looking at employees between 11 to 200 employees here. And then we're filtering down to industries and keywords. Okay, so we're looking at HVAC, air conditioning, AC, construction. Okay, and so we're looking for this type of business owner in this area within this this employee range. And if we could scroll down here, you would actually see where we had also done revenue. We had also used revenue as one of those list building factors. Okay, now you'll see right here. Can you see my mouse or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll see right here, this generated a list of 749 leads. What I want to look for is at least 1,000 leads on a list. Would I be okay with 749 leads? I'd be fine with that. I would like to get more. I'd like to get a couple hundred more just so I can get better data from that, because marketing it's just numbers. That's it. I want to look at the numbers. I want to make data-driven decisions. I don't want to operate from emotion and how I feel about this. And I want to look at the numbers. Okay, so I want a list of at least 1,000 minimum. And then once I go and clean that, again, it's going to come back with probably 700 to 800 that are actually clean. So pro tip here, any platform that tells you it only gives you verified or clean leads, it's probably not 100% accurate. So you still want to go and run it through a program that's going to clean them. It's going to make sure that it's real email addresses so that your emails are not bouncing, so that your outreach isn't just spent on empty ghost leads. Okay. So, and one of the programs that we use is actually Zero Bounce, zerobounce.net. Pretty affordable. It's fine. It works well. So you can use that as well. So let's do the math. Let's say I've got a 10% close ratio, right? That means, and this is from all the way from marketing pipeline all the way through sales pipeline, not my sales pipeline alone. Sales pipeline, I definitely want to see a higher close rate. But let's say from marketing to sales pipeline, I'm going to take 100 conversations, meaning my team made 100 outbound calls, or I had 100 webinar registrants, or I talked to 100 people at a conference that I went to. Okay. I want to at least shoot for 10 first-time appointments. Here's why. Out of those 10 first-time appointments, two or three of those, if I'm doing my job right, I'm following the process, I'm working the play, 2 to 3 of those are going to go to the CSRA, right? That's the cybersecurity risk assessment. One of those will close in that same sales cycle. Okay. The other 2, well, maybe they said no. That's fine. No's are great. We love no's. The other one, they got to circle back at the beginning of the year, right? So that sale is going to come back around. But I can say that if I'm going to book 10 first-time appointments, one of those are going to close. Okay, so do the math on that. Here's why we got to make the outbound calls. Here's why we got to build the list. Here's why I want 1,000 people on my list. Okay, because if 100 pick up the phone, I want to book 10 first-time appointments, right? We got to start thinking about these really big numbers and just the math is the math is the math. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell me in the chat, who are you going to hyper target for at least the next 6 months? Okay. Because remember, it takes time. Relationships take time. Sales takes time. Okay. Who are you going to target for the next 6 months? What industry? But I just gave you like tons of ideas back here.
Some ones that I really liked in my MSP. I really liked elderly care facilities. I liked wealth managers, accounting firms, nonprofits. If I was going to do medical, I would do very, very specific privately owned medical. I liked orthopedic clinics. I stayed away from chiropractors. I kind of stayed away from dentists. I really liked eye surgeons, really liked, I forget what they were called. There was one that did,
you did med spas too, right? Did you already say that?
What was that?
You did med spas too, right?
Did plastic surgeons, so another one that's very specific. Vince just said here, engineering and manufacturing. Got another one from Michael. That's lawyers. Got another one here from Dan. That's in manufacturing. Got another one from Reese. It says CPAs and nonprofits. In fact, I was talking to Riley Flaherty today about helping him kind of like one of the things he came to me and said, hey, I want to build my own live events. And he said, I'm going to mimic your road shows. I'm like, hey, that's perfect, man. I'm totally all about that. He's one of our inner circle members. And he's actually based in Wisconsin. So we kind of know some of the same people. And he is going to actively target nonprofits and make a nonprofit summit. And it's exactly what you should do. Like target specific verticals, put on events that drive value. Maybe even great example for nonprofits. Here's how to write grants, bring in a grant writer, bring in some things to help them build their own cybersecurity plan, write a grant for cybersecurity. Like that's the kind of stuff that really helps.
That's so specific. I think like the big takeaway on that is how specific that is, right? It's nonprofits. It's this industry, because again, if you're talking to everyone, you're probably getting through to no one.
Yeah. And I think that's really key. And note, guys, here's one thing that often comes into this. MSPs kind of have an absolute mindset. Just because we're saying target these with a specific marketing campaign doesn't mean your entire MSP is only focused on that. It's just this marketing campaign. Whatever your strategy is for this is key. So for example, car dealerships, accounting firms, all these ones that we're talking about, you could put an FTC safeguards campaign out just for those people and drive them. And then the communication that you're having with them. So it's not just one thing and only that thing ever. It's growing this and moving together towards a goal. And then you repeat and reuse for the same different verticals. Really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also think about who you like to work with. If you're like, yeah, I can't stand lawyers. Oh no, like my personality just doesn't mesh with theirs. Don't work with them then. Like,
and don't work with them. 100% agree.
All right, cool. So tell me who you're going to work with for the next 3 to 6 months. And I want you, and I actually have a resource here for you. Scan this, use the code 7figureMSP.link/CPP 7 steps. You're going to see an overview of like 7 steps of working the process, 7 steps of how we move leads to and through the pipeline. Okay. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more here for a few minutes. And then I'll hand it back to Chris. But I want you to work this list. Go build a list. Pick one of those platforms, Apollo, Seamless, or wherever, and go and work that list for at least 6 months. Okay. And then come back and tell me what happens. Come back and say, well, Lindsey, I did this. The first month was a little choppy. Second month, I booked 3 appointments. Third month, I booked 10 appointments. Fourth month, I'm hiring someone to do this for me. Okay. Come back and tell me what happens. Okay. So now let's get into the actual process of what do I do? I'm getting the leads. I've got the list. How do I actually move them from a marketing lead to the sales lead, where I'm actually booking this appointment and then closing the deal? Okay. And this is where marketing and sales start to overlap a little bit. There is no black and white line. Okay. It's all, if marketing is doing its job, then it's helping sales. Okay. Your sales team should be like thanking the marketing team if it's working. Okay. So how do we think, how do you think, I'm curious, how do you think that you actually convert those leads on the list? Do we sit back and wait? Do we put out 1 social media post per day? Do we revamp our website? What do we do? How do we actually convert those leads on the list? Here's what we got to do. Let's look at our sales pipeline. Number 1, they come in as a cold lead, right? So that's the leads on our list, right? They don't know us. They don't trust us. They don't love us. We're just another average Joe, average whatever out there, okay? There's no trust that's built there, okay? Then they move to the first time appointment, right? So then this is that first 10, 15-minute appointment. Can I stand the sound of your voice? Is this even a possibility for us to work together? Then they go to the discovery call. This is a longer actual discovery where we're asking, hey, what's your cyber insurance policy look like? What is your annual gross revenue? What is your 5-year growth plan? Like, you're actually asking these questions. You're figuring out their pain. You're figuring out their vision. What are their goals? What hits their emotional needs, their emotional desires as far as their family or as far as their business goals? What is their goals, right? That's important for you to know as a growth partner. Okay. Then we move them to the cybersecurity risk assessment. All roads lead to the CSRA, always. Okay. And then we're closing clients. So we're never, ever, ever skipping any of these steps. Okay. We don't, just because someone comes in and they seem like a hot lead, we're not skipping the first time appointment and going straight to pitching a CSRA. It's very, very strategic in why it's positioned this way. And this is also kind of echoes why you go through sales training first inside of our programs. And all of our clients have to understand sales first before they can even touch marketing. And then it's funny because everybody comes in and they're like, I want leads. Give me marketing. Do you know what to do with those leads? Right? Like, can we maximize those leads? Okay. So that's why we want to go into sales first. So all roads lead to the CSRA. But now there's a step right here. This is where your conversions actually take place. Okay. So if I look right here, there is a huge area of opportunity that's going to take place between the cold lead and the first time appointment, right? There is some nurture that has to happen here. This is where our direct outreach campaigns come into play. So whenever you build that list, we're going to have this process that moves leads to an event, a one-to-many event, such as a webinar, a masterclass, a lunch and learn, an in-person Saturday seminar, a breakfast, a business breakfast, whatever this is, where you're going to bring in leads into one place. I like to call it a soft pitch. Okay. So I'm not pitching them straight to the first time appointment with me. If you make 100 calls today, actually, and I see this all the time, if you make 100 calls today and you're pitching them straight to the first time appointment, you may walk out with 0 appointments booked. Right. But if I'm making 100 calls and I'm pushing them into my webinar, right, or I'm pushing them into the soft pitch, I'm pushing them in to go and check their email and grab the link to the free book that I sent them. I'm following up on the postcard that I sent them. I have this other form of touch point that I can tie in because there's multiple steps happening. then I can very well walk away with 10 appointments booked.
Yeah, good example of this, Lindsey. Just thinking about, you guys heard me mention that we built our list for our Los Angeles event on Sales Navigator. It was 2,500 people. We brought it down to probably 1,000, pretty targeted, pretty specific. Got phone numbers, got mobile numbers, got email addresses. We then sent those people a physical postcard. We then called down on the postcard to invite them to, did you see the postcard? We invited you to our, come have a free steak with Chris and Lindsey. Like, that's the concept there. So it's not like driving them right to, hey, buy our coaching program. It's come have lunch with us, come learn, come evolve, come grow, come meet the people in real life. Oh, if you don't want to come out, somebody mentioned that it's not easy to shake their hand all the time because some people are not happy with new COVID, et cetera. Then watch a webinar. We got all this different stuff. We're hitting them from all these different angles. We got Facebook groups, we got emails, we get massive amounts of nurture. So people aren't left hung out to dry. And if they want to come see us in person, great.
Absolutely. But I think the key here is to know that it takes time and it takes effort to nurture, right? It takes multiple touch points. It takes you making the follow-up call, sending the email, doing the webinar, being in all these places so that we can build trust and not having this air of like expectation, this air of, oh, I called them one time, they should book an appointment with me. And if they don't, they suck. They're not an ideal client. No, how presumptive is that? That's just us assuming that, oh, I called them one time, I graced them with my presence on the phone and they should book an appointment. That's not true, right? Because people are busy and they're smart and they're doing business things and they're doing life, and it's going to take more than once. Okay, so we really have to normalize that. Okay, so we got to play the long game. So meaning, again, if I'm putting in the work right now, I'm building the list right now, I'm going to put in months and months and months. I'm going to host my webinar. I'm going to go live. I'm going to make these calls. I'm going to send out these postcards or this direct mail piece for the FTC safeguards. Okay, I'm going to play the long game. Why? Because what else am I going to be doing? If it's not been working so far, right? Like, what do we have to lose? If you have gotten here from referrals and Google searches and accidental growth, that's a beautiful thing. And I'm so here for that. And how do we scale? And how do we grow from there? And how can we get a guaranteed 10 leads per month on my calendar every single month? Okay, I've got to get into the offense of my marketing, remember? So we're going to play the long game. We're going to make sure that we're educating our prospects. We're building a brand that's based on authority, on credibility as that cybersecurity expert, right? Whenever I'm hosting these webinars or whenever I'm hosting this lunch and learn, or I'm making these follow-up calls, I'm automatically weeding out the people that were never going to buy to begin with. I'm weeding out the ones who aren't worried about growth, who are just trying to skim by in business and in life. That's not the kind of people I want to work with anyways. Okay. I'm weeding out those not a fits. I'm making my sales team happy. I'm making me happy if I'm the closer by making my sales come a lot easier. And I'm removing those people and those businesses that say, we can find it cheaper somewhere else, right? Because if you've done your due diligence in education and in nurture and in trust building, right? They're not going to be looking for the cheapest option, right? They're looking for the MSP. They're looking for the partner that's going to help them with their long-term growth goals. Okay, because you've asked the right questions and you've done your due diligence. So let's use Will for an example. Will is one of our inner circle clients. He came into Marketing Machine last year, literally a year ago. And when we first came in, life happens. Marketing Machine, it's kind of intense. There's a lot of work that goes into it. It's just the way it is. It's just marketing. So life happened, business happened. He actually didn't run his first campaign until earlier this year, until March of this year. So it was like 4 or 5 months later. He didn't run his first campaign until then. I actually saw him in Phoenix, and he's like, Lindsey, I'm ready to get back into Marketing Machine. I'm ready to do this. This was January of this year. I had a conversation with him there in person. He's like, Lindsey, I'm so ready for this. Let's do it. Comes back, head down, does the work. By March, he's running his first campaign. First run. Dry run, right? 0 attendees that came into his event. He actually did a webinar, a one-to-many webinar where he drove his leads into this webinar where he's educating them on why they need a cybersecurity risk assessment. First one was a dry run. Okay, no big deal. He goes back, he runs the campaign again, works the list, makes the webinar, puts the material out there, runs the campaign, does it again. Okay, same message, right? What happens? We did better. We had a few attendees, but we still didn't have any conversions. This is normal. Can we normalize failing on the path to success? Okay. No conversions. That's okay. So what did he do? Did he give up? No. He went out, he did it a third time. Third time of running the nurture campaign, he had an 80% appointment booking rate. Why is that though? Why do you think now he's got an 80% booking rate from the leads that came into this event with him? Well, probably after 3 times of talking about the same thing over and over, you get a little bit better at it. Probably his posture was a little bit better. He felt more confident. His voice sounded more authoritative. People trusted him. People have probably returned to this webinar. They've heard this message a couple of times now. Okay. Ultimately, he closed over $50,000 in new revenue. Okay, let's run a campaign 3 times and close $50,000 in new revenue. Why not? Right? Can we depend on a Google search to do that? No, not really. Maybe it'll work. Okay, but we can't depend on that. So why did this work for Will? Let's just, again, come back to the why of this. He built his list of ideal clients. He invited those ideal clients to that webinar, to that soft pitch, that place where he can nurture them. Okay, we're not going to assume that people are going to buy the first time that we call them. He delivered his training. He built rapport. He then sent his leads to the cybersecurity risk assessment. Remember, we're following the process. Okay, he repeated the process again, right? Again and again. After entering into the sales portion of his process, he streamlined that sales process, FTA, discovery, CSRA presentation, client closed. Okay, he took his time. He did not skip steps. And there was zero attachment to the outcome of the results. This one is so hard. This one is so hard.
Probably the most important piece of all this is because people get so obsessed with having a deal and closing a deal that they get like, it's almost like you ever watch the Tommy Boy thing where he's like, I got to have my pet in my clothes. It's exactly that.
Well, I think that you got to have activity, right? Like we're going to become attached whenever we don't have the activity to keep us busy. So if I say, oh, I'm only going to do this one webinar, I'm going to run this one campaign and I'm going to see if Chris and Lindsey were like, are they feeding me a lie here? No, if you do it one time and you don't have anything else to count on, then you're probably not going to see the results that you want from that one time. But if you've got activity to like back it up and you're like, boom, I did my first webinar. What's my first question? If we have any of our current clients in here right now, what's my first question? Whenever you go share in our Facebook group and you're like, all right, Lindsey, I just ran my webinar. What's my follow-up question? When's the next one scheduled? Always, every single time. When's your next one? Cool. What are you going to do next? Because we got to have the activity to back it up. We cannot be attached to the results of a one-time campaign or a one-time show. Again, he had one all-inclusive plan, which Chris talked about, having this one all-inclusive cybersecurity plan. And then the most important thing was that he did not stop. He didn't give up. Okay. So this is not atypical. This is what we see in hundreds of our clients and hundreds of the MSPs that we work with. We help them scale to 7 figures and beyond. Even if you're at 7 figures, we help you to continue that growth. Okay. And help you then train your team. That's specifically who we work with in Marketing Momentum, actually, is your marketing team. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you an asset that is actually reserved for our private clients. Okay, so this is the Why You Need a Cybersecurity Risk Assessment webinar. Okay, this is what our clients are actually using to go out and present to their list of ideal clients that they've generated and drove traffic to their webinar. Okay, I'm going to give you this. So here's the 3 things. You got your email. You're going to send it out. You're going to propose to your existing list of clients, or you're going to propose to the Chamber of Commerce, hey, I've got this training. I would like to come and present to your company on why you need a CSRA, on how to protect your business. Okay. You've got your list of clients. You're going to go build your list in Apollo or in Seamless. You're going to go run that list. Try to get 1,000 leads. Try to get as close to that as you can. You're going to make those calls. You're going to drive them to this training, why you need a CSRA. You're going to go and present this training. And at the end of this training, and you're going to see, I walk you through every single step of this document here. You're going to see it here in a minute. There's notes from Lindsey. I'm like literally talking to you in the notes section. I'm like, step 1, do this. Step 2, don't do that. Don't say this. Don't rush there. It's really funny. You're going to drive them at the very end of this webinar to your first time appointment. Okay, you don't call it that. You call it a cybersecurity strategy session. Again, cybersecurity is the message. That's the front-facing message, cybersecurity. And you're going to walk them through that sales process, that 7-figure MSP sales process that we just talked about. Okay, so again, cold lead, nurture, FTA, discovery, CSRA, closed client. This is the way, Jedi. All right, so here is your link, 7figureMSP.link/WINA CSRA Prezzo. This campaign, once you run it once, you're going to do it again and again and again and again, because this campaign becomes a staple piece of your marketing. Every single month, at least, you want to be running this webinar. Okay. If you sound like a broken record in your marketing, then you, my friend, are doing it correctly. Okay. People have to hear the same thing over and over and over again. It never goes away. This campaign never goes away. And remember, all roads will always lead to the CSRA. So again, I'm going to hand it back to Chris here. But again, our job is to push leads into and through our pipeline every single day. The work for next year has already begun. We're going to position ourselves as the cyber expert. You're going to send that email, at least 10 of those emails, to get into the rooms that you need to be in. You're going to build not by targeted lists of ideal clients based on industry, revenue, employees, and location. You're going to play the long game because sales takes time. You're going to nurture, nurture, nurture. And you're most importantly not going to stop, because why? You cannot get the sale that you did not ask for. So thank you. And back to you, Chris.
All right, cool. So just a couple of quick things. First of all, actually, Lindsey, amazing job. You're such a better educator than I am. It's crazy. But got a summarization of all of our deliverables for you guys. There were a couple of people that mentioned, I had a kind of a kit earlier that was in a zip file. This is the non-zip file version. This is the de-Chrisified tech guy version. So obviously, first of all, you want to adopt a security first model with top of the line stack for all your clients. Now, my suggestion on that, single plan across all your clients, basic managed services stack that you're already doing, and then add a basic managed security stack on top of that. When I say basic, it should be EDR, secondary threat protection, MFA. I recommend a fully managed security operations center, a fully managed SOC. Also, don't think that you can do these things yourself, because you're just not. It's kind of crazy. You talk, Lindsey, you've been exposed to a lot of the really good cybersecurity vendors because they come to our show now. Mm-hmm. Most MSPs think they can spin up a SOC on their own and they can just manage all this. And you hear any one of the cybersecurity vendors, they're like, don't touch it. Don't touch it at all. Don't touch it. So here's all the deliverables for you guys from the run the play on your 3 nodes. That's the worksheet that I gave you, the run the play worksheet. And then we have the run the CSRA, the 7-figure MSP way worksheet as well. That's our guide that we have for you guys. Then to put yourself into the rooms you need to be in pieces. And these last 3 are the Lindsey actual deliverables that she has as well on top of that. So really good stuff. And guys, we do have a webinar replay that we're going to do on this. And we got some people asking about this on LinkedIn and a couple of the other platforms. It'll get sent to you guys. Just make sure that you registered for it. It'll get sent out. And this is being, you can go back in, Diane, for you can go back in, and as soon as it's over, you can play it on LinkedIn exactly how you're watching it and watch the whole thing, because we're live streaming to that platform. So you can do that. Okay. Got a couple other things from my standpoint. Feel free to screenshot it if you guys want to. We are going to send out emails to everybody that registered, et cetera. And then you can watch from here on out on the rest of the platform. Got some questions and answer time for you guys. There was a couple of people that brought some stuff up. Again, Diane said, please provide a lead play. I have my MD and marketing coordinator here, this info. So we'll get that out to you guys. There was somebody said the QRs are not working. I literally personally tested every single one of those. So something's going on. I know they are working. So I'm going to go back one more. Let me just go back one screen to make sure you guys got that. But I know those are working. Any other questions that you want to ask me or Lindsey while we have you guys live? All right, that was cool. It's a nice little comment. That was quite a show. Usually a silent follower watching from the stands, but I had to talk today. So thank you, Aurora. That's very nice of you.
Awesome.
I'm going to test these QR codes because I literally
tested one of them. The first one worked.
Here's what I'm doing on my phone right here. I'm doing on the generate leads on repeat one. Let's see what happens. I'm like literally, there it is. So that is a Canva template that came right to that on my phone. So I think you just got to kind of like look at it. But if you guys need it, here's what I'm going to tell you. Feel free to email info@7figureMSP.com. I'm going to put this in here. If you want any of the stuff, we'll do. So email info@sevenfigureMSP.com. If any of this stuff doesn't work, we'll send it to you. Like our goal is not to make it difficult or hard. It's just QR codes are kind of a pain sometimes. And depending on your phone, it kind of is what it is. So do that. But all these worked. I checked them myself. Mostly because I checked Lindsey's work and I don't trust it. That's why.
Totally why.
She literally was like, you're an idiot. Okay. Got a couple other things here. Do you have a template for cybersecurity risk assessment? That actually was, I'm going to show you that one. That is the run the CSRA, the 7-figure MSP way. That's that one. Okay. Just so you guys know, that's the ultimate cybersecurity guide. So that's exactly what that is. If you need anything, just don't hesitate to email info@7figureMSP.com. And we'll go from that. Let me see if we got any other. Okay. Here's another one. How do you handle a why you need to know my revenue objection? Okay. I love this question, Alex. This is a really good one. Let me just bounce forward to my Q&A slide again. So here's what I'm going to tell you on this. First of all, the hackers are after your money. So one of the reasons that we want to address now, a really key important part of this is think about your timeline with your prospect. You want to be pitching them from the why you need a cybersecurity risk assessment standpoint first. So if you teach them, here's the reasons why you need a CSRA, you're kind of going to be eliminating some of these objections and some of these questions along the fly. But the big factor is, what are the hackers after? 5 years ago, and note, this is evolving and changing. This landscape is evolving and changing. 5 years ago, the hackers were trying to basically lock up your network to ransom you. And yes, I guess ransomware is kind of coming back because these guys are evolving. But the bottom line is all roads lead to money. And if the hackers are after your money, Mr. Client, and this is a real thing that I want you guys to understand. This is how I get all excited about this stuff. You have to be able to relate to the client, and they have to understand that, Mr. Client, you have to show a pattern of behavior now to the insurance company, maybe to the regulators, FTC safeguards, some of these other things. You have to show a pattern of behavior that you weren't negligent, that you were actually trying. They understand now you're going to get hacked. But if you were thumbing your nose up at regulations, at hacking prevention, if they come in and they do a breach test and you don't even have basic MFA in place, there's no EDR, no secondary threat protection, maybe no zero trust, all these different things, depending on the insurance policy, depending on the regulator, they're going to be like, well, you want us to pay your claim, but you didn't care about cybersecurity at all? Well, what do you mean? We did care. Yeah, but you are not showing that you cared, Mr. Client. So your job now as an MSP isn't just to care about the tech. It's to show that you cared about cybersecurity and you showed about protections. This is the whole point. So you've given me a hard time for my whole point in the beginning. This is why I talk about that stuff, because you have to actively show that you as an MSP gave a shit. We are establishing a pattern of behavior for our clients. Okay, Mr. Client, you don't want to spend the money? Fine, not my problem. I'll still support you, but here's what's going to happen when there's a breach. Really important things to understand. That is really key stuff. So coming back to this with Alex's question, the bottom line is you have to show that the money matters and the hackers are after the money. And if the client doesn't care, okay, that's fine. But what happens when there's a breach? That's where you have to be able to stand. Okay, really good question. Love that question, Alex. Okay, let me see what else we got here. I think there was a question here. Sounds like Canada. Somebody else said, my browser's gotten all wonky here. Hold on a second. What did Royce? Oh, Royce said sounds like Canada. Yeah, and he said we only have cybersecurity suggestions, not regulations. For now, it just depends on it depends on the vertical. And here's the thing, guys, you got to remember about this. You may not have government regulations, but the second, and I'll give you a great example of this, the second insurance gets involved, the regulations skyrocket. So, for example, my wife owns a med spa. Cash practice. The limitations around patient privacy laws and all these other things are kind of up for discussion. Not saying that, we don't want to follow HIPAA, we don't want to do these things, but there's no police until insurance gets involved. So you got to remember the second insurance and money and government money and Medicaid and Medicare and all these things get involved, that's when the regulators and the police come out. So if you want to try and file an insurance claim, you better understand that if you don't have all your ducks in a row, that's where you're going to be facing the music. And ultimately, I understand if there's no regulations and there's no insurance claim, hey, whatever. If the owner doesn't care, that's not on you. But it's really important to show all these things. It's really, really important. Okay. Okay. Any other questions before we move on? Got a couple minutes left here, and then we're going to get out of here. We got our prizes coming up. Okay. If you guys got questions, don't hesitate. Hit them in there. I see you guys like sharing emails. It's awesome that you guys are doing that. That's
I'll also say, so I just went and did like a little experiment. So I went and Googled cybersecurity application, pulled up a sample cybersecurity application for insurance, cybersecurity insurance application. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th question on the application is last 12 months gross revenue.
100%. Yeah.
You know what the next question is? Projected 12 months gross revenue. So now not only do I have to tell you my past 12 months, but also what do I project to make next year? So think about it. The position that you're taking as technology and cybersecurity partner, these are questions that you got to be asking.
Yeah.
We're not just fixing stuff when it's broken. We're helping them create these results. We're helping them review their cyber insurance. So just sync up your questions with theirs. And I would encourage all of you to go.
And Lindsey doesn't know MSP at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just did that. Look how simple that is and how important that is. Okay, got a couple more questions that came in here. So from Luis, the client is a franchise and they only follow the rules and regulations from the corporate franchising company. How do you resolve this conversation? Personally, I would get corporate involved. That's what I would probably do. And I think you got to be careful because if you're going to try and jam a square peg into the round hole of a franchise, you have to talk to corporate as well. This is not a whole lot different than dealing with wealth management in a broker dealer scenario. And I will go all the way back to like 2012, 2013, when I was dealing with wealth management firms. We actively talked to Raymond James. We actively talked to some of their bigger partners and went through this. And I think that's really important. That's where I would probably go. Obviously, you can maybe get some of that with the local franchise, but it's going to be a challenge. That's my suggestion. Next question. Hold on, getting here. How much do you charge for the CSRA? Here's my recommendation on that. $1,500 should be your baseline charge. You can kind of charge whatever you want, but charge something. My suggestion, $1,500 covers up through 10 employees, $100 an employee above that. That's my suggestion. But if you want to make it $1,000, fine. $500, fine. Charge something, but it should be something of your value, like something showing that you care. And it's should take a little bit of work and a little bit. And our job is to discover a full risk system that they basically all the risks that they actually had. That's my suggestion on that. Okay. Next one's here. Travis said, how do you support MSPs in adapting and evolving their client relationships to meet? Okay. That's a deep one. I think some of my stuff will go over that. First, appointment and discovery call difference. So there's two different pieces of this. First of all, FTA, first time appointment. That should be to discover whether you like each other. Think of it like a first date. You're literally meeting, you matched on Hinge or whatever, and you're going out to have a first date. You don't even know what the person looks like. We want to see if we even like each other. And then we start going into, okay, what's our next steps? Now, if you feel that you can jive really quickly, you better be good at what you're doing sales-wise. But usually that first date, not even all the decision makers are there. So my suggestion, book a second meeting with all the decision makers, start asking some discovery questions. And then your goal there is to determine whether you're in a good place to sell them the CSRA. Maybe your discovery call becomes the why you need a CSRA presentation. So FTA leads into why you need a CSRA presentation, then leads into selling them that, delivering them that, et cetera, which potentially leads into your full CSRA results presentation, AKA sales pitch. Now, MSPs come to me and actively say, well, Chris, I want to go much faster than that. Why are you in a rush? I understand we want to close deals, but don't you want to close the right deals the right way so you can get the most money out of them? Differentiate yourself. That's what this is all about. It takes time to close deals. Think about that love of your life. You didn't meet him on Hinge and marry him the first night. Well, some people did, I guess, but how well did that turn out? Kind of those things, right? So it's really important to think about that. So there's your differences, Amy. Thank you for that. I got a couple more questions here. Let's see. Franchise corporate is a great client from Kyle. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I want to come back to this from Christopher really quick here. Let me just look at this question. with existing clients that may not see our value. How do I do a CSRA is where he's going with this. So here's what I would suggest, Christopher, on this specifically. Do not charge your existing clients for a CSRA. I would, however, do every single one of them. If you do not know how to do this, that's what we do. And that's what we'll teach you how to do. And I'm going to bring Jose from our sales team on here. We'll talk in a few minutes here. But I think it's really, really important to actually do this and really show the actual risk. I think those are all really important, really key things to focus on. Lindsey's back. Did you blow up your computer again?
Well, it froze for like 5 minutes. It's
that Mac. Get that Mac crap again. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Somebody get me a desktop.
So I want to get not even going there. I'm going to go through last couple things here. I'll get you guys out of here. So we're running a little bit long today. Got a lot of good discussions, a lot of good questions. And we'll keep going here. So I want to talk really quickly about our 7-figure MSP Inner Circle program and kind of some of the things that we do. Great example of somebody that came into our program. This young man is named Brian Wooster. Brian's in California. Brian joined our program August 24th, 2023. He closed his first deal in less than 30 days. So in about 15 days, closed his first deal. Sorry, a little bit more than that, about 20, I think it was 21 days, 22 days, give or take. But really great example. We are an accelerant is what 7-figure MSP Inner Circle is. And his first 4 presentations were in 3 weeks, with the 5th this week. I think that this week is a couple weeks old. But 1 contract signed, 2 verbal yeses, and a total of 7,800 new MRR in our program. So who was that was asking that question? Back to Christopher Johnson. Great example of how we help you fast track this whole thing and what we do. And I'm going to talk really quick about our Inner Circle Elite program. It is a complete sales and marketing coaching program to help you get to 7-figure years, 7-figure deals, 7-figure months. That's really key. So it includes our 7-figure MSP Double Your MRR sales system, our complete sales onboarding. That's live with me, Cindy Phillips, our head sales trainer, and Ryan O'Hara, our VP of member services. You also get 3 times a week, weekly sales open office hours. This works all around the world. We have clients on every continent. Well, not Antarctica, but damn close. That's about it. Every populated continent, we'll say that. You also get Lindsey's machine, the 7-figure MSP marketing machine that is run by yours, young lady on the screen here, Lindsey Badillo.
I can't run a MacBook, but I can run the marketing machine.
Not even going to comment on that. I'm just going to leave that alone. You're getting a PC is what you're getting, a Windows PC, not a Mac. You can also get our complete marketing onboarding process completely live, along with also 3 marketing open office hours with the marketing machine coaching program. You get our proposal, presentation, and agreement templates. That includes a full cybersecurity sales presentation, top to bottom, a full cybersecurity sales Word proposal template also. You also get our full risk acceptance letter. Now, what that is, we don't care about cybersecurity. Okay, here's our risk letter that states what's going to happen when there's a breach and what our plan is and how much we're going to charge you. We're drawing a line in the sand. Important things to think about. We also have our full MSP master service agreement and statement of work templates included, along with a full cybersecurity incident response plan template. Along with, if you choose to do this, you can either bring in your counsel and work with our templates, or discounted access to the ultimate MSP contract kit that's included in the program. It is 50% off. So it's an additional $2,000, but again, you don't have to use it and it gives you an option. You also have our processes, our structure, and our tools. Our full complete 7-figure MSP risk assessment system is included with our brand new, all done for you cybersecurity risk assessment process. We call it CSRA as a service. That's there, along with our hiring machine also included. You get our full MSP CRM, all kinds of marketing campaigns, our full MSP website and email nurture software, all included. So Chris, what's the next step? You guys saw all the stuff that's included. We got all this different stuff, and then even more. I haven't even highlighted it all here. Roughly a $15,000 in change value, probably more than that, honestly. My special offer for you guys today, and I'm going to bring Jose on here to work with us and talk a little bit. Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How you doing? Jose is actually north of me. I'm in Austin, Texas. Jose is in Jorge Town. Is that correct?
Jorge
Town, Georgetown, Texas. He's about an hour from north here, but we're a fully remote company. But 12 months of our elite coaching program for normal retail monthly is $3,500 a month. we got a special for you guys at $17.50 a month. And by the way, Jose, I didn't even tell you this was coming. We got our Black Friday special. It's going to go through Cyber Monday. It's our fast action bonus. Now you got to work with Jose right now. So basically you send Jose a message right now and he'll work with you. But we'll save $500 per month, actually $250 a month on this deal. And we'll get that to you for $1,500 per month. So if you're interested in this, please ping Jose. Again, here's all the all the included elite stuff is right here for $15,000. Here's how you can actually sign up right here live with us on the call. Or if you ping Jose with a message, he'll work with you and get you that deal as well.
I got a fan, man. Travis Collins is missing my lap. Come on, man.
Oh, Kyle said he's in Cedar Park too. You guys are probably like,
let's do lunch, Kyle.
You guys are like neighbors. I'm in South Austin. I'm in Driftwood, just so you guys know that. So, Lindsey, you got some fans who are wanting to be.
I know. I'm getting pitched over here in the right now.
Okay. Couple guarantees I got for you guys, and Jose, I've expanded this yet again for the record, just so you know.
Yes.
So Chris, I don't know if this program is going to work for me. I'm nervous to commit. I think this is a scam. We actually get this a lot. We think you guys are a scam. The amount of MSPs that we've changed their lives are pretty impressive. But Chris, is there a guarantee? Here's my guarantees for you guys. So I got two of them. Number one, just to prove to you that I believe, Lindsey believes, like we all believe, we have a great team, amazing staff here. We have a 90-day money-back guarantee for our elite program. This used to be 30 days, and I've expanded it to full 90 days. So here's the only caveat. If you participate in the work, you attend the calls in the first 90 days, and you feel you'll see no ROI, it's not worth it, it's not going to work on my market, I'll give you your money back in full. But here's the thing. You have to come on the calls. You have to do the work. This has never been requested. I'm not going to say that we've had 100% success rate. We don't, because I can't control you. But if you come into the program, you do the work, you win. It's literally that simple. So much that I've added a second guarantee. Continuing how I believe so much in the program, if you participate in all the work and attend the calls and do your first 3 CSRAs with your existing clients, Christopher, for you, that's a great example. In the first 90 days, and if you do not make at least your monthly investment in additional MRR, I'll write you a check for $2,500. See how that's changed, Jose? That's changed a lot, because now it's like whatever your investment is. So even if you're $1,500, I'll just write you a check for $1,500 or for $2,500. This also has never been requested. If you come into the program and do the stuff, I almost dropped the naughty word. I'm going to say it anyway. If you do the shit in the program, we're all the time anyway, it doesn't even matter. And it doesn't work, I'll write you a check. But it works. The bottom line is if you do the work. And the biggest barrier we have right now is the MSPs that come in, they're like, oh, I got too much work to do. I don't have time to double my MRR. Okay, well, have fun then. Okay, so coming on that, here's how you sign up if you want to do this. Otherwise, ping Jose directly. He's here. You can find him on LinkedIn. We're going to be reaching out. We got Noid and the rest of the team are going to reach out to everybody that registered for today's webcast. You are going to get a phone call. You're going to get some emails. You're going to get some replay stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to give away some prizes, Jose. I'm going to have you help me out with this. So we're going to do this.
We got Raj in the house too. It works.
What's up,
hey.
Raj?
Raj, hey buddy. Raj is from Seattle. Raj is one of our good friends. Was in the program for a long time and recently just came back. Love having you, buddy. It's good to see you. Daniel or Darrell said, is there a one-on-one coaching option? We do not offer one-on-one. Everything is group. This is by design. People want one-on-one coaching. I did that initially. And here's what I'm going to tell you. One-on-one seems like it's the best play. You work better in group. I'm just telling you guys. We've revised it. We changed it. I did one-on-one way back in the day. It was hard on me as a coach. It was hard on Cindy. It was hard on our whole team. It's way better in a group status. And this is really cool. This is from Dan. Dan just said, in 3 works and it works, peeps. That's cool. Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, brother. And let's paste the link in the chat. Let's do that really quick, and then we'll give our prizes away. Let me just do that really quick here. So it's 7figuremsp.com/elite. I'm going to write that in here for you guys. This is a live webinar, by the way.
We're very live. Otherwise, it would have trimmed out.
There we go.
Me being frozen.
I'll put that in the chat for you guys. Your promo code is live 2023. Okay. All right, so let's do our prizes. We got 2 different prizes here. We got a $100 gift card. Keep in mind, guys, if you sign up for a leader, if you book a call, any of these things, you get a $50 gift card with Jose right now. So you can do that. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to put in the chat for me And again, you got to be live on the webcast with us to get this. What is the one takeaway you learned from Lindsey today? Probably didn't learn much from me because I'm like not much, not great, honestly. Lindsey's by far way better than me. What is the one thing that you learned from Lindsey that you can take and implement right now? We're going to pick one of those answers, and you're going to get a $100 gift card, and then the second person is going to get a $75 gift card. So Kyle just said 10 leads. Lacey said lead lists. Nick said execute. Alex said build a damn list. I like that. I'm a big fan. Best lists are built, not bought, man. I'm telling you that right now. Like the only caveat I'll give you on that. Let's say you're going to a CPA show and you're speaking at a CPA show on why you need a cybersecurity risk assessment. And they're like, okay, part of your speaking gig and your sponsorship is you get the list. Okay, I'll give you that one. Like we just did IT Nation. We did our whole MSP revenue generator. Lindsey and I spoke for like what, Lindsey, 4 hours we talked for. We got the list out of that. 190 people were on that list. Great. We know they're qualified. We know they're good. We paid for that list. Great. We still kind of built it, but it's a great example. Somebody said chatbot and deepfake AI are answering live questions. I'm pretty sure I'm not deepfake AI. I'm pretty sure. You tell me how I can verify that one. But I like this from Diane. Steven said that running a program 3 times goes from 0 engagement to 80%. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. They all work. Do you? I like that. Take action. Cybersecurity is the main focus. Durrell said make a list, make calls. This is also deep fake, Durrell. So you're part of the deep fake. Follow the program and don't deviate. Really important. And here's what I'll tell you on this one, Roy. I would love to have you in my program, but whatever you do, build a process and stick to it for weeks, months, a long time. I do the same stuff over and over and over and over. How many overs? A lot of overs. Again, that's what we do. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Got a lot of good comments here. Jose, you can see them all. Jose, I'm going to make you pick a $75 winner. I like this from Amy as well. Don't be afraid to target an industry. Absolutely target an industry without question. That doesn't mean you stick only on that industry. Jose, who's your $75 gift card winner?
Man, there's a lot of good ones today, man. It looks like a lot of folks were engaged today, so I like that. You're really, really hard.
Engagement. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not going to choose the guy from Cedar Park. I mean, I like the.
No, you do. You go buy him lunch. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go buy him lunch. Man.
That's his follow-up strategy. Just
yeah. If I can buy you lunch, it's like you're in.
All right, $75 gift card winner.
All right. Okay, if you don't pick, I'm going to pick.
Man, this thing is like, hold on just a second. I had one.
You realize I brought you on here and you had one job, bro.
One job.
Man, I had one.
One job.
Okay, I'm going to do David McGuire gave a pretty long one. There's a methodology that works. Know your target audience. Know your pitch from front to back. Walk the walk and talk the talk. Use references. Follow up.
Love it. Okay, so David McGuire, congratulations. You have won the $75 gift card. Please do me a favor. Put your email address in the chat, and we'll get that to you. That's the webinar chat. Okay, Jose, you got one more. Hopefully you can make that happen. $100 gift card winner.
No pressure.
Lindsey, you don't want to help me out with this one, Lindsey?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Ready? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spin my mouse.
Okay. Jose, track that. Grab that email address, please, so you can give that to Amanda.
Yeah. Let's see. David McGuire.
All right. Mine $100 winner is Kyle Wentworth with Count the Nose. All right, Kyle.
Nice job, Kyle. Okay, Kyle Wentworth, you won a $100 gift card from us. Do me a favor and put in the chat your email address, and we will get that to you. I'm putting Jose in charge of that. That's what you get for coming on.
Kyle Wentworth, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Kyle, put your email address in the chat, please.
Cedar Park.
Is that your Cedar Park guy? Oh,
yeah.
that is your Cedar Park guy.
Oh, is it?
Way to go, Lindsey. Now you got a free lunch and a gift card. Actually, scrap that. Kyle's buying you lunch, Jose. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Now Kyle has money to buy me lunch.
Yeah.
How about me lunch?
So there's Kyle's email address. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming on with me today and with Lindsey. So much good content. A couple things I want to leave you with. First of all, I know this is long. I know it's a lot, but we do this by design. We want to pull you away from all your distractions. It takes like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get somebody actually undistracted. So we do that by design. And that's a really good example of how you want to do this for your own webcasts. Also, second thing, when you're building out webinars and stuff for your ideal prospect, make the titles and the things that people actually care about. Notice our title of today's webinar, 3 Secrets to 10 Leads Per Month in Your MSP. By design, that is exactly what you want. Don't just put it like, here's why you need cybersecurity at your company. Like, that doesn't matter. Give them something. Here's how to stop hackers from stealing your money. Stuff like that. Like, it should be a little bit polarizing. Again, by design. These are really important things to think about. Third, and I'm going to leave you with this, execute. Go out and do the work. I know you're tech people. I get it. I was that guy. Jose was that guy. Jose's actually worked at an MSP. I forgot that you worked at an MSP. You've turned into such a sales machine. I
remember coaching Jose.
Yeah.
I remember Jose being in marketing and literally.
Yeah. So get out there and do the stuff. And it's really important. It's not fun, especially early, especially when you don't have money to do it. But if you follow, this is why we talk about sales first. Think about all these different things. This is why we want you to charge more money so you can afford to market. And it's really, really important to be consistent. Really important. So, all right, I'm going to go. Lindsey, Badillo, great job today. It's great to see you. Jose, thanks for coming on with us. And for the rest of you guys, great job. Good to see you. Go make some money. Go work on this. If you have a question, feel free to shoot me a DM, shoot Lindsey a DM. We're here to help you guys, and we want to see you win. We'd love to see you in our coaching program. Don't hesitate to ping Jose at 7figuremsp.com, and we can get you hooked up with a $50 gift card and an appointment to talk about our elite program. So we'll see you guys later. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.